Hello everybody, unexpected third video of Tuesday. This one is about Red Guardian getting a buff. Yay! Also balance updates for Kindred and Silk. I thought I'd make a quick little video, mainly because I've got a load of stories to cover for tomorrow's MCN, which I'm going to be recording in a moment. But I thought I'd do a quick video, just kind of looking into this. There's actually a ton of videos I've got to make, but I've also got to make I've got to make a grind into Battlegrounds, which I tell you what, it's stressful. It's really stressful, especially with that piece that I really need to get. But and that stress is going to continue, it seems, from what Kabam have said. We're going to look into that in tomorrow's MCN as a topic point. But spoiler alert, yeah, it's going to get more difficult. Anyway, look, Silk. Kabam said Silk entered the contest aiming at being an Alliance War and Battlegrounds attacker that quickly and efficiently took down some of the scariest mystics. Seen that, she is fantastic and working well. I think some people have, have they won against me with them? I'm just trying to check actually. I think that some people have done very well utilizing her in some attacks. Well, except for that matchup. Except for that matchup there, I was like, okay. So yeah, so Silk doesn't work well against Kindred, but for the most part, she works incredibly effectively. But anything can happen, input errors, input issues, disconnections, loads of different things happen. I was on my lunch break today and something went wrong with work and I had to come off my lunch break to fix the issue, and I was mid battling somebody and I think I lost. Did I lose that one? Whatever it was, it's just a case of things happen. Then I've had times of input issues, and it's not it's not perfect, and sometimes I just play crap. Everything happens in Battlegrounds. Sadly, you take the rough with the smooth with it, but look, I don't doubt what is being said there. We took a look at her data to make sure she did not break the ceiling of damage dealers in the science class, and we're glad to say she hasn't. The Battle Realm's first 7-star rank 3 will be staying as is. Oh, is she? Is she just that? Okay, good. Good for her. Good for her. Kindred, on the other hand, now this is another champion that I want, as well as Photon. I'm looking forward to the next 6-star featured. Definitely want to add some really stronger champions. Atropathy was actually something that is important to counter. What's it called? Maestro. If you've seen the video on Monday. And Kabam say Kindred was aimed at becoming the next scary Mystic Defender with centipede strikes that reduce buff potency through atropathy and a difficult SP1 you need to punish, and a route to try and catch you one last time. Overall, Kindred has performed extremely well on defense, and even considering both the Alliance War and Battlegrounds attack tactics take away their biggest threat. Offensively, Kindred is performing well in their niche target matchups, which is all that was asked of them. Kindred is a menace in the best way, and we'll be keeping him as is. So yeah, it's good to know as the balance team are not making changes, and I think this is good. So shout out to the balance team for their work on stuff. I think there's definitely going to be champions that are looked into, and look, one thing I would say about this is when you're investing to rank up champions, you want to feel like they're not going to be tinkered with. I don't know if everyone has that phrase, tinkered, which is basically means when they're being constantly changed. I've seen a few people rating Sandman and his new buff. I've seen people not rate the Sandman buff, talking about the fact that he feels more of a, Battlegrounds orientated option, but as well, not being that long fight, big health pool type champion that you would take in, which I guess is could have been an option for Necropolis. Maybe not. The content's not released. We can't have a look. But definitely, I think that's maybe a topic we're going to be looking into more with evidence and receipts on the MCN tomorrow. So look out for that. But yeah, that's definitely good news. If you have a Silk and Kindred and you've massively ranked them up, you want to feel that you have got, still a champion there that's going to be fine to use, and it is. So that's good. That's fantastic news. So let's move on to the what next. Because both of these champions are staying as is, we'll be giving Red Guardian a tune-up. We're aiming to make his rotation much more sustainable and his damage more rewarding. The timeline for Red Guardian will be as follows. December 42.2 plus 42.1 beta builds. So I guess we'll have over the holiday period, I get to kind of play about with that maybe. And then the full release with changes. And that is really interesting news. I don't know if anybody, I don't know if Kabam were definitely going to do that. Is it a case that they're starting to do characters with backgrounds that, I don't know, was it because he's got a Russian background. I don't know if Kabam was starting to kind of think about it. Have I got a 6-star version? I'm just leaning over my device, just kind of go hey, do I have a 6-star version of Red Guardian Leviosa? Do you remember that joke? I'm sure some of you remember that joke. Why am I going mad? Why am I looking at this? Sorry. I'm thinking to myself, there he is. I've got a 5-star version. It's been a long day. It's going to be a long week as well. So I've got him there as 6-star, which is good because I thought I only had him as a 5-star. So happy days. It's good to kind of have champions that at least are being ranked, not ranked up. I don't know if I'm going to rank him up. I don't know what the buff is. So yeah, rotation-wise, I'm just trying to remember how I used to rotate with this champion. I don't know. I don't know what the tune-up is likely going to be, especially because a lot of the time it's all about kind of building up that ablative shield and kind of doing a load of burst damage. So I don't know. I don't know where they can kind of add any. Oh, this was all about debuffs, wasn't it? You can tell how long ago I used to really enjoy Red Guardian, and then it just fell out of kind of the meta because a lot of the time you're trying to keep debuffs on, similar to, come on, think, Rich, think, who was it? It was kind of like Apocalypse. Apocalypse has got a kind of element and narrative that you're keeping kind of debuffs on the enemy. The more debuffs you've got on there, of the the ones that are part of the Apocalypse kit, is then you're doing greater damage with certain special attacks. The similar situation with this, the more debuffs you have on, the more damage you do, he says. Yeah, I think it's then, is it heavy attacks? There it is, heavy attacks gain X amount of attack rating based on, depending on if you're looking at 5-star or 4-star right now, for each unique debuff on the opponent. So that was the main thing, is trying to keep those on the enemy, especially if the AI is kind of rubbish. And nowadays, until we have the buff from Kabam, the AI is just generally rubbish when it comes to coming at you. It's not like Cleopatra coming at you. It's just a case of it's barely coming at you, which basically means you will struggle to throw heavy attacks in a sufficient time frame before them tallying off, and there you're great, well, I have to throw myself SP1, I think it's an SP1, or special attacks in order to reapply the debuffs. And that's the main thing with the champion, is debuff reapplying, and the rotation just needs to be, as even Kabam say, much more sustainable and his damage more rewarding. So that's good. I'm very much looking forward to that. What is everyone's thoughts on the matter of Red Guardian being buffed in the future? Is it going to be a good... I mean, look, all champions, not all champions, but a good chunk of old champions need to be done. I would say that maybe Kabam are looking for... Because I'm sure people are going to say, well, why aren't the likes of Superior Iron Man, Black Bolt, whatever, Captain Marvel, Drax, getting looked at? And I think that is obviously a very relevant question to ask. I guess it's just a case of Kabam think that they can do this much more easily, and the work they'd have to do to the likes of Superior Iron Man would have to be new animations, quite possibly, complete redevelopment of the kit. So there's a lot I think that Kabam would have to do, but I would agree with people if they are looking at this and going, hang on a minute, why aren't some of these older champions being looked at? Your Draxes, your Superior Iron Mans. But I guess that's the thing, next rebalance, which I can't remember which champions it is, maybe it's going to be a case that they have to do more work to the newer champions because people have already ranked them up. People haven't ranked up some of these lesser champions here. So I guess Kabam's narrative for that is that's the reasons for how they're kind of approaching this, whether it be right or whether it be wrong in the community's eyes. What's your thoughts on all of these particular bits of information? Thanks for watching. Make sure to check out some other content located on screen. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.